Hey there, Math Whizzes! Welcome to today's fun math challenge. Let's dive into some exciting multiplication questions and test your skills. What is 1 times 7 times 8? $56. Simply multiply the first two numbers. 1 times 7 equals 7. Then multiply the result by the next number. 7 times 8 equals 56. Therefore, the answer to 1 times 7 times 8 is 56. What is 2 times 6 times 5? $60. Simply multiply the first two numbers. 2 times 6 equals 12. Then multiply the result by the next number. 12 times 5 equals 60. Therefore, the answer to 2 times 6 times 5 is 60. What is 2 times 2 times 2? $8. Simply multiply the first two numbers. 2 times 2 equals 4. Then multiply the result by the next number. 4 times 2 equals 8. Therefore, the answer to 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. What is 0 times 3 times 9? 0. Simply multiply the first two numbers. 0 times 3 equals 0. Then multiply the result by the next number. 0 times 9 is still 0. Therefore, the answer to 0 times 3 times 9 is 0. What is 4 times 3 times 4? 48. Simply multiply the first two numbers. 4 times 3 equals 12. Then multiply the result by the next number. 12 times 4 equals 48. Therefore, the answer to 4 times 3 times 4 is 48. What is 6 times 4 times 2? 48. Simply multiply the first two numbers. 6 times 4 equals 24. Then multiply the result by the next number. 24 times 2 equals 48. Therefore, the answer to 6 times 4 times 2 is 48. What is 1 times 1 times 8? 8. Simply multiply the first two numbers. 1 times 1 equals 1. Then multiply the result by the next number. 1 times 8 equals 8. Therefore, the answer to 1 times 8 is 8. What is 2 times 3 times 4? 24. Simply multiply the first two numbers. 2 times 3 equals 6. Then multiply the result by the next number. 6 times 4 equals 24. Therefore, the answer to 2 times 3 times 4 is 24. What is 3 times 4 times 5? 60. Simply multiply the first two numbers. 3 times 4 equals 12. Then multiply the result by the next number. 12 times 5 equals 60. Therefore, the answer to 3 times 4 times 5 is 60. What is 3 times 3 times 3? 27. Simply multiply the first two numbers. 3 times 3 equals 9. Then multiply the result by the next number. 9 times 3 equals 27. Therefore, the answer to 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. What is 5 times 0 times 8? 0. Simply multiply the first two numbers. 5 times 0 equals 0. Then multiply the result by the next number. 0 times 8 equals 0. Therefore, the answer to 5 times 0 times 8 is 0. What is 0 times 6 times 6? 0. Simply multiply the first two numbers. 0 times 6 equals 0. Then multiply the result by the next number. 0 times 6 equals 0. Therefore, the answer to 0 times 6 times 6 is 0. What is 5 times 2 times 8? 80. Simply multiply the first two numbers. 5 times 2 equals 10. Then multiply the result by the next number. 10 times 8 equals 80. Therefore, the answer to 5 times 2 times 8 is 80. What is 5 times 3 times 1? 15. Simply multiply the first two numbers. 5 times 3 equals 15. Then multiply the result by the next number. 15 times 1 equals 15. Therefore, the answer to 5 times 3 times 1 is 15. What is 1 times 1 times 1? 1. Simply multiply the first two numbers. 1 times 1 equals 1. Then multiply the result by the next number. 1 times 1 equals 1. Therefore, the answer to 1 times 1 is 1. What is 1 times 6 times 5? 30. Simply multiply the first two numbers. 1 times 6 equals 6. Then multiply the result by the next number. 6 times 5 equals 30. Therefore, the answer to 1 times 6 times 5 is 30. What is 2 times 2 times 7? 28. Simply multiply the first two numbers. 2 times 2 equals 4. Then multiply the result by the next number. 4 times 7 equals 28. Therefore, the answer to 2 times 2 times 7 is 28. What is 5 times 3 times 4? $60. Simply multiply the first two numbers. 5 times 3 equals 15. Then, multiply the result by the next number. 15 times 4 equals 60. Therefore, the answer to 5 times 3 times 4 is 60. What is 3 times 2 times 2? $12. Simply multiply the first two numbers. 3 times 2 equals 6. Then multiply the result by the next number. 6 times 2 equals 12. Therefore, the answer to 3 times 2 times 2 is 12. What is 4 times 5 times 2? $40. Simply multiply the first two numbers. 4 times 5 equals 20. Then multiply the result by the next number. 20 times 2 equals 40. Therefore, the answer to 4 times 5 times 2 is 40. Nice work! Grab your free practice quiz and subscribe for more fun videos. See you next time.